It's time for Come and Talk It with your host, Michael Cargill, brought to you by Texas Law Shield. Over the last decade, Michael has championed and supported the rights of law-abiding Texans to own and use firearms. He is the owner of Central Texas Gun Works, a veteran of the United States Army, and has achieved national exposure in such prestigious media outlets such as Forbes Magazine, Fox Business News, CNN Money, AOL, BBC World News, Huffington Post, and the New York Times. Cargill vigorously defends lawful gun ownership in this country without regard to party politics. And now, here's Michael Cargill.
Good day, Austin, Texas, the live music capital of the world. Let's praise the Lord and pass the ammunition. So the United States marks the 21st anniversary of the 9/11 terror attacks. So Americans, today, we mark 21 years after the deadliest terror attack on U.S. soil. It had a tolling bell and a moment of silence begin with the commemoration at Ground Zero in New York, where the World Trade Center's Twin Towers were destroyed by the hijacked plane attacks of September the 11th of 2001. September 11th of 2001. Victims, relatives, and dignitaries also convened at the two other attack sites, the Pentagon and a field in Pennsylvania. Other communities around the country are marking the day with a candlelight vigil, interfaith services, and other commemorations. Some Americans are joining in volunteer projects on a day that is federally recognized as both Patriot Day and National Day of Service and Remembrance. Also, this week on Tuesday, September the 13th, we will have our day in court for the bumpstock lawsuit. And this is a very big day for us on September the 13th in New Orleans, because we're going to plead our case to the 17-judge panel on the Fifth Circuit and let them know that the ATF, the federal government, this agency, the Department of Justice, cannot create law. They can't create law. So we're saying the ATF, something that you purchased one particular day, last year, whatever, they just can't come along and say, okay, you bought this particular product and it was legal. Well, today it's going to be illegal. Well, they can't do that. And so we're going to bring our case toward the Fifth Circuit. This is going to be heard in en banc. And Zach, how many cases did the Fifth Circuit hear in en banc?
I believe it.
No, go ahead.
I believe it's 0.3%.
0.3%. All right, so 0.3% cases they actually hear. So this is a very big case, because once we go to the Fifth Circuit, they hear this case, which we're not going to get a ruling this week. We're probably not going to hear anything back. I don't expect to hear anything back until like maybe Thanksgiving time frame. So it usually takes some time there for them to release the ruling of the court. But we have filed this case, and several other groups have now come along, now that we're at the Fifth Circuit, and filed amicus briefs and things of that nature. So it's Michael Cargill versus Merrick B. Garland. This lawsuit could determine who has the constitutional authority to change the criminal law if changes are warranted. The appeals court in June vacated the three-judge panel's opinion upholding ATF's legal interpretation and granted en banc review. And that is a review by all 17 active judges on the court. So NCLA, which is the law firm that's actually representing me, NCLA is seeking the invalidation of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives, the ATF, on the bump stock final rule, in which the agency declared that non-mechanical bump stocks are machine guns within the meaning of the relevant statute. Now, because the final rule is not valid legislative rule, ATF may not seek judicial deference to its statutory interpretation. The agency expressly waived any deference claim for the bump stock rule under Chevron USA Incorporated versus Natural Resources Defense Council. Now, plaintiff, yours truly, Michael Cargill, and basically what I'm saying is the final rule conflicts with the statutory definition of a machine gun, thus exceeds ATF's authority. Number two, I'm saying that the ATF's construction is not entitled to Chevron deference. Number three, I'm saying to the extent that the courts determined that the definition of a machine gun is ambiguous with respect to bump stocks, they should apply the rule of litany to determine that bump stocks are not machine guns. And number 4, if the statute were interpreted as authorizing ATF's declaration that bump stocks are prohibited machine guns, then it would be an unconstitutional delegation of Congress's legislative powers, is what we're saying. Just to break it down for you. So we're going to see what this judge panel decides. And keep in mind, when this case was brought forward before the Fifth Circuit initially, and I think, what was it, 2021 or 2020? I think it was at 20. I can't remember if it was 2020 or 2021 when the case was heard in front of the Fifth Circuit initially. And it was a 3-judge panel at that time, and they were all Democrat-appointed judges to the court. Now, this court here has 17 judges. Out of the 17 judges, only 5 of them are Democratic-appointed judges. The rest of them are Republican-appointed judges. So we happened to draw, on that straw poll there, we drew 3 Democrat-appointed judges, which they, of course, decided this case against us. And so now we're going to be heard in front of all 17 active judges on this court. And so it's looking very positive, and we hope that they will decide in our favor, which I believe they will. And then I'm hoping that the Supreme Court picks up this case. And so hopefully we will see Michael Cargill versus Merrick Garland before the United States Supreme Court of the and have them to determine, hey, you know what? You're correct. ATF, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, they cannot regulate. They can't create law. They cannot create law. They can only, do what Congress allows them to do, and Congress has not delegated that authority, is what we're saying. Also, today, I want to talk about, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. There's some breaking news coming out of your credit card companies. That's right. So you have Visa, MasterCard, American Express. They're talking about, targeting, or labeling gun stores. And I'm going to tell you the pros and cons of that and how that's going to affect us. Also, out of Elgin, Texas, there's a shooting. And we have the video. And guess what? No one else is going to see this video except you. This is Michael Cargill, and you are listening to Come and Talk It.
Peace, this is Maj Toure. You're listening to Come and Talk It Radio with Michael Cargill.
I'm a U.S. Army veteran with a strong sense of duty and respect for our system of government. After 12 years, I was Army discharged and decided I would fulfill the American dream of entrepreneurship and open up a gun shop in Austin, Texas. At my shop, I teach people to be law-abiding and how to safely use their firearm. On page 46, going to talk about Penal Code Section 46.02. The day that ban went into effect, I went into my local ATF in Austin and turned over my bump stock because I'm a law-abiding citizen. But I wasn't going down without a legal fight. So that's why I reached out to NCLA.
NCLA is representing Michael Cargill because federal agencies do not have the power to rewrite statutes. Bump stocks are not machine guns. If Congress wants to change the law and ban bump stocks, it certainly can do so. But we can't have the executive branch rewriting a statute and putting people in jail for up to 10 years.
It's a problem because, this government agency has said, you know what, something that is legal is now illegal, and we're going to confiscate it from you, and we're not going to compensate you for it, and you're going to become a criminal.
The goal of our case here is to tell the ATF that they can't get away with this kind of administrative lawmaking. This isn't constitutionally permissible, and this goes against everything that our nation was founded on.
The bump stock ban turned innocent law-abiding citizens into criminals overnight, even though they were compliant with the statute. And that's not right.
This case is not about where you stand on bump stocks. It's about the rule of law. It's about whether an agency can rewrite a statute and turn a law-abiding citizen into a criminal. If the ATF can ban bump stocks, any agency can ban anything.
Welcome back to Come and Talk It. And now here's Michael Cargill.
All right, so let's go to Elgin, Texas. So we have a breaking news video. This is not a new shooting. This shooting happened a month ago, back in August in Elgin, Texas. But no one else has seen this video, so you're going to be the first to take a look at this. So this is out of Elgin. This happened right around August, I'm going to say the 14th of August. And our person is dead after two shootings happened about 9 hours apart. Now, if you're listening on the radio, you're not able to hear the video because we have to turn that off. If you're on the live stream, you're listening to the live stream.
Oh, he's mad.
Go, 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 go. Oh, I'm hit. Call 911. I'm hit.
So what you see there is the confrontation between two different groups, two different people. A guy gets out of his vehicle with a gun in Elgin, and they're yelling back and forth at each other. And the guy that he's yelling at that gets out of the vehicle, that guy pulls out a gun, starts shooting at him. He runs back, jumps into his vehicle, and pulls off. And as he's driving off, he's saying, I'm hit. And so the Elgin Police Department says officers found the shooting victim dead in a crashed car on West Brenham Street and South Avenue C. But officers said the shooting happened a block away on East Alabama Street. Elgin police responded to that shooting around 4 p.m. on Saturday back in August there. And the next shooting happened around 12:30 a.m. on Sunday. Officers responded to shots fired at a home in the 100 block of Wilderness Trail. So it's like, it's like they were going, getting back at each other. What's going on? Is it the heat?
It's not even that hot anymore.
I know. It's only like 90 degrees. Good Lord. We didn't even hit 110 this year. So Elgin Police Department said the last shooting was in retaliation to the one that led to the victim's death. When an officer stopped the car with the three people inside, believed to be related to the shooting, two men ran and the driver was taken into custody. Elgin PD said the two who ran are still at large and didn't specify the driver of the car was a shooting suspect. Now, let me get a little update here because a man did turn himself in after a couple of shootings over that particular weekend. So police said Lonnie Lawrence Jr., 42, is charged with murder and first-degree felony and turned himself in, that following Monday morning to the Bastrop County Sheriff's Office and is now held on a $1 million bond. That's right. This is Bastrop. That's not Travis County. It's a $1 million. He will not be getting out of jail. Elgin police previously reported a person was found dead in a crash car, and so they go on through the little story there. But yeah, man, that's wild. That, jumping out of the video, yelling and screaming, people just do not understand the consequences of a firearm and that life is really precious. It's really precious. And when you pull a gun out and you discharge a firearm, you take someone's life, that is a lot. It's a lot. And you cannot replace life. Property can be replaced, but a life cannot. It's really too precious. So you need to think twice before pulling the gun out and using it because it will change your life forever.
Or the person stealing your property needs to think twice before doing that. Right?
I agree. That's
Yeah,
why.
there's this great meme that says, what is it? So your property is worth more than my life? And then it's basically, hey, you should have thought about that. Should have thought about stealing before you went ahead and did that.
All right, let's go to Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh, that's a crazy story right there.
Oh, you know about it?
Ezekiel?
Is that his name?
Ezekiel Kelly?
Let's see. Is that
With
his?
the Glock switch?
That's his. Oh, he had a Glock switch.
He
Oh,
had a
he is
Glock
going
switch.
to jail.
He did 7 different shootings and killed 4 people.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Give us the
And
rundown.
he
on that.
live streamed it
Oh,
on Facebook Live
so TikTok,
or Instagram or
TikTok
something.
on TikTok.
TikTok?
Yeah, he did it on TikTok.
Okay. So basically, he just drove around in his car with his Glock that he put a switch on. For those of you who do not know about what a Glock switch is, it's basically you have this little part that converts your Glock semi-automatic pistol into a fully automatic pistol, which is highly illegal. But he went ahead and did it.
And boy, the ATF has a little pet peeve about these Glock switches. Let me
They
tell
don't
you.
seem to like them.
They really do not. I actually had several news agencies reach out to me. They said, Michael.
They tried to get you to put one on, right?
Yeah, it's like, hey, Michael, I want you to go out and buy one of these things, and I want you to, get it together, put it together,
Isn't that entrapment?
and rent. And we're gonna do a news story. No, as a dealer, I can't do that.
You should have told them to do it.
Right, as a dealer, I actually can do it. But I was like, no, I said because that's the ATF has got a little itch, under their skin about these Glock switches, and they're not playing around. And I'm not trying to poke the bear. I got some court cases right now there before, several courts, and I'm trying to, get those worked out without trying to start another fight. So that's just not a hill I'm ready to climb at this time. I got, one hill to climb at a time.
You can just describe it with words that it turns your semi-automatic Glock into a fully automatic Glock pistol.
And it's illegal for civilians to possess these things.
Yeah.
So you can't have them.
And they were selling them in Houston or something, right?
You can
For $100?
buy the piece online and have it shipped to your house, and then you can put it on a switch, and that even owning the piece is a felony. So whoever's selling them, I think they're being sold from overseas, like China, somewhere like that. Under like some weird, some different name or something. I don't know what's going on. And so you can get them. You're not supposed to. They're illegal, but you can search online and actually get them. And then when you put those things
So
on your
just
firearm,
owning that is a machine gun?
yeah. And why would you do that anyway? That's like a waste of ammunition. Ammunition is expensive right now.
Is it?
Yeah, you're and the power of that, the bullet coming out, you're not going to have a good shot group.
Better have strong hands.
Very strong hands. You end up shooting yourself. So doing this 22-hour rampage, Ezekiel Kelly, 22, shot and killed 4 people and injured 3 more after being released early from his aggravated assault sentence.
Yeah, and I want to ask anybody listening, did you hear about this story on the mainstream media?
Oh,
Did they cover this? Did they?
no.
Did you hear about this on CNN?
I didn't hear about this until
on
today.
MSNBC? Nope.
So
Some guy running around with a fully automatic pistol, just driving by people and shooting them.
that's a major
indiscriminately?
story.
Yeah, live streaming it
Oh, he was
But-
because he was black.
because he was black, huh?
So it wasn't enough of it. I know. Forgive me. Hey,
He's gonna get you for what?
I'm sorry. I'm just here to tell the truth.
Michael's black.
So he killed his friend Dwayne Tunstall,
He
24,
killed his
shooting
friend.
Yeah, shooting him several times in the head before shooting 6 other people across Memphis. Memphis Mayor Jim Strickland slammed the courts for the decision, saying that he served his full sentence. Then 4 of our fellow citizens would still be alive if they kept him in jail.
Yeah.
So you're right. He live streamed this, part of the shooting on Facebook, with the social media giant working to remove the footage from the website. Kelly allegedly killed his first victim just before 1 a.m. on Wednesday. Memphis was put into lockdown as police hunted the shooter. An entire major city in this country was shut down, and it was not discussed on the mainstream media.
Nope.
That is wild to me. And a major city was shut down because some dude's driving around shooting and killing random people.
If it was some white guy, Don Lemon on CNN would be running just a primetime story on white supremacy and murders.
This is CNN.
Well, I'm telling you, and you did not hear this story on mainstream media. This guy's driving around. Memphis is like the sister city to Austin. You know, they actually run commercials in Memphis and say, hey, don't move to Memphis. Move to Austin. We're full.
Memphis is a danger zone, though, right?
Yeah. Imagine. I remember when we had the Austin bombing,
Mm-hmm.
and not, we didn't have that many people die, I don't believe, from the Austin bombing, but we had that. That was a major national story.
Yeah.
This guy's driving around the city, shuts down the entire city, shooting random people, and the news media, the mainstream, are silent.
So what is it about these stories that makes it into headlines, and what is about the others that just makes them
It
just
needs to
fall
be
into
to be a
oblivion?
white male who's a right wing, extremist, and then they'll discuss it. And it's entertaining to them.
So
Do not call me. Do not send me emails. Do not don't fax me. I said what I said.
Oh, the Austin bomber. He was this just white dude. Right?
Exactly.
Yes. Oh, and so everyone in the world knows about that story.
If it's not a white guy who's a right wing extremist, it's not entertaining to them. Don't call me. Don't email me. I don't want to hear it. I'm not in the mood today. I'm not in the mood right now. Tell you right now. I'll come up one side of you and go down the other side.
Which side will you come up?
I'll pick a side, but I will go up one and come down the other. I'm here to tell you, because today is not the day to screw with me.
This guy just drove around on Facebook Live and shot people.
Mm-hmm. Random people.
Yeah, I never saw it.
And it wasn't on mainstream media. Shut down a major city. Memphis, Tennessee was shut down completely because a guy was running around shooting citizens. We come back from the break. We're going to talk about more. We're going to go around the world. This is Michael Cargill, and you are listening to Come and Talk It.
Hi, this is Stephen Williford, the Barefoot Defender. I get my global gun news from Michael Cargill at Come and Talk It.
Whether it's a typical traffic stop or you're just involved in a use of force incident, encounters with law enforcement can be scary and stressful. In the heat of the moment, you may inadvertently say something you don't mean or make an inconsistent statement. These are red flags for officers, and if they think you're lying or your story doesn't add up, they might arrest you and let the criminal justice system decide your fate. Police officers are trained to get information from you without making the interaction seem like a formal interrogation. But remember, from the moment an officer arrives on scene, everything you say and everything you do will be scrutinized in court. The prosecuting attorney will attempt to use anything and everything against you. So what do you say? You say, I invoke my right to remain silent, and then let your attorney interact with law enforcement on your behalf. One important note though, do not throw common sense out the window. For example, if the intruder's hiding somewhere in your house when the police arrive, or if you saw the perpetrator pitch his weapon into your backyard, quickly tell the police and then stop talking. You might ask, what about my rights? What if the police never read me my Miranda rights? Miranda rights is the common name for a collection of rights contained in the Miranda warnings, given to suspects when they're placed under arrest. The warning comes from a 1966 Supreme Court case, Miranda v. Arizona. In that case, the court held that statements from a custodial interrogation would not be admissible unless proper procedural safeguards were in place to protect the defendant's Fifth Amendment rights. We've all seen these warnings on TV and movies. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to have an attorney. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law, and so on. So do police have to read you your rights? No. It's important to note that officers are not required to read you these rights unless you're in custody and subjected to interrogation. If the police show up to a crime scene and start asking you general questions and you voluntarily tell them everything that happened, those statements can be used against you regardless of the Miranda warnings because you're not in custody. If you're put in handcuffs but you say something incriminating on your own without being questioned, those statements can and will be used against you because you're not being interrogated. You're just starting to spout off. This is why it's imperative that you know your rights, and you should.
Welcome back to Come and Talk It. And now, here's Michael Cargill.
I tell you, thinking about that Memphis story just reminded me of, Samuel L. Jackson in the Pulp Fiction movie there. Ezekiel 25:17. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the inequities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who, in the name of charity and goodwill, shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness. And boy, he would just start firing off rounds. So, man, I tell you, this guy was he's playing a little Pulp Fiction in the background as he was driving around Memphis, Tennessee, shooting random people, and it was no mainstream media.
I'm trying real hard to be the shepherd.
I tried real hard. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, this Ezekiel is definitely not the shepherd. He was the evil man or the weak.
He was definitely something.
He was weak and evil.
He was definitely something.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about, man, you hear about the credit card companies? They're going to do the old in out on you. So Visa, MasterCard, American Express are going to categorize gun store sales separately. Did you hear that story? All right. Yeah, boy, here we go. It just keeps coming. Man, this is a crazy year. If we do not get out and vote on the midterm elections come November, if the Senate goes too far to the other side on this next election, and you have the current holder in the White House takes control, if they take control of the Senate, they already have control of the House, they have the control of the White House, that means that they will be able to pass whatever bill they want because they have control of all three houses. So I'm telling you now, if you don't get out and vote come November, you're going to lose some gun rights and you're going to lose some guns.
So what's happening right now, currently, or previously, when you buy something from a gun store or gun parts, they're categorized as general merchandise.
Correct.
But now these credit card companies are going to put them in a separate category of gun sales.
All by ourselves.
And so they're going to start tracking people. Ooh, this guy spent, $1,000 in
the
guns.
gun store.
Yeah. So watch out for this guy.
That's right.
Even though
And
the vast majority of people who buy stuff relating to guns do not commit any crime with them.
That's right. And remember what we told you a couple weeks ago? We went over if you walk into the gun store, you're delayed or denied, you're going to get reported to the FBI and to the local law enforcement. Boy, they're getting all the ammunition. So they got your information from your credit card.
Jeez.
You get delayed or denied when you walk into the gun store because you don't have your license to carry a handgun. Man, it's going to get crazy around here. I'm telling you now. Some people are going to have to defend themselves and spend money and litigate on attorney fees because they are wrongly accused. Why didn't you tell you?
They're going to have to defend themselves for spending X amount of dollars in gun parts per month.
Because they're wrongly accused. Why didn't you tell you?
You're going to automatically be put into a category if you spend a certain amount of money on gun-related purchases.
And we've already gone through, like back when President Obama was in office, we went through the thing of where in credit card companies, their processors would just cancel gun stores. They say, hey, we're not going to, allow gun stores to use our services, and they would cancel our account. We've already experienced this. So now you're going to tag the customers and say, okay, this customer's buying this customer's buying that. Well, guess what? If they think you're buying too many guns, they can cancel your account.
So these credit card companies are becoming an extension of basically, these political parties. They're becoming arms of the political parties where sooner rather than later, you're not going to have to pass a law to ban or exclude a certain thing or a certain company. You just get the processors to stop processing their payments, and you don't have to change any laws. You can shut these people down. You can shut these categories of merchandise down without ever having to get X amount of votes in the House or the Senate or getting the executive branch to sign anything. Nope. You do not have to do any of that. Now, you just have to get the credit card companies to basically blacklist certain types of sellers or certain companies, right?
That's right. That's right. And this move by Visa signals a major victory for gun control advocates who argue that a separate category for gun stores sales will help track suspicious quantities of firearm sales that could potentially lead to a mass shooting, according to them.
So, how would you even categorize that? What if someone buys 2 guns? Then they could be a mass shooter. These
What's the
big,
magic number?
high-profile
What's-
mass shootings.
What's the
They
magic
were
number?
2 guns, right?
Yeah,
Ooh, or 1 gun.
One gun. What's the magic number?
Ooh. So what? More than half of a gun?
What's the magic number?
If somebody buys more than half of 1 gun, then they are put in the category of a suspected mass shooter.
Well, they're coming. They're inching toward it.
Uh-huh.
They're inching toward it. They're coming.
And
They're
let's
coming.
not forget
We're not
how
coming
many
after
millions.
your guns.
Yeah, how many millions of ARs are there out there? At least 10 million, right?
Hell yes, we're going to take
And
your
how
AR-15,
many have
your
been-
AK-47. We're not going to allow it to be used against.
Get that
fellow
guy off of
Americans
here.
anymore.
Jeez. But yeah, you have tens of millions of ARs out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how many of those are used in a mass shooting or even illegal act, right?
Not even a percentage point.
Way less than 1 percentage point.
Not even a percentage
like a
point.
fraction of a fraction
Mhm.
of a percentage point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Majority of your crimes are committed by handguns.
hmm
If it's a firearm, that is.
Yeah. There are more murders committed by hammers and fists than there are by all rifles, not just AR-15s, every year.
How's that cryptocurrency sound now? Mm-hmm. Yeah. How's that Bitcoin sound to you? How about Litecoin? How about Ethereum? Track and trace that. How about,
What about Dogecoin, right?
that? Yeah, get some Dogecoin. You
Or is
gonna
it
learn.
Doggy Coin?
Yeah, we told you. You gonna get learnt. I'm telling you right now. You gonna get learnt one way
Well,
or the
didn't
other.
they pass basically some kind of legislation on how all that's going to be tracked? You know, in the cryptocurrency legislation that they passed,
Mm-hmm.
they've required all the exchanges to log all of basically the people who buy from them, like Coinbase,
And I'm telling you,
Gemini.
I have credit card companies are sending me emails saying, "Hey, you need to sign this form. You do this." I'm not signing. I'm not doing nothing.
Yep, Coinbase won't let you back on until you give them your government issued
I'm not
ID.
changing. I'm not making
your
any changes
social.
to my account.
Mhm.
I'm not editing anything, and I'm not acknowledging that I received any messages, any emails. They have to cancel my account to get me to sign anything new.
Yeah, and if you purchase one of those hardware wallets, then they actually send that information to the government.
Mm.
They let them know, hey, this person bought this hardware wallet, and this is the information linked to that.
This is I mean it's a lot.
And they basically put it under the umbrella of terrorist activities, right?
Right. So and like we said before, what's the magic number? Is it 1 gun? Is it 2 guns? They suspect that you're doing something. Is it 3 guns? Is it 4? Is it 5? What's the magic number? There's no number. It's all because they just want to track you.
It's arbitrary.
That's right. They want to track you. They want to know what you have. Where is it? And it's little by little, it's being done. And we're sitting back and allowing it to happen. So at some point, you got to stand up come November, election day, and vote these people out.
Yeah, because they encroach on you 1 inch at a time, right? They come 1 inch closer at a time. They come 1 inch closer, and then they're getting so close that you kind of back up 1 inch, right? And they come 1 inch closer, you back up another inch just to get them out of your face. And the cycle keeps going, and it keeps going, and it keeps going. And before you know it, you're 2 miles behind where you started.
Mm. And there's a wise man that once said, about how many boxes are out there. A man's rights rest in 3 boxes, he said. The ballot box, the jury box, and the cartridge box. And if you don't exercise that right of the ballot box, man, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to know it's your turn. It's your time to sit in the jury box. And if you don't sit in the jury box, then they're going to take your rights away, and you're not going to have a cartridge box because they're going to take it away from you. Remember that. Frederick Douglass said that. There's a little Black history there for you.
It's not even February.
It's not even February. Give it to you for free. All right. So in Austin is on pace to reach 100 homicides. You hear about that?
This year?
Yeah.
Austin is one of the 5 safest big cities in the country.
So Barton Springs pool slaying among 9 Austin homicides in August.
Barton Springs slaying?
Yeah, boy.
I didn't even hear about that.
You hear about all those stabbings?
No.
Yeah. Oh man, it's been off the chain over at Boston at the Springs there at the Barton Springs pool. So on consecutive days last month, 2 men were found slain on some of Austin's most popular parkland. One was found bludgeoned near Auditorium Shores. The other was found shot outside the city's iconic Barton Springs pool. They were just 2 of 9 people, all men, who were homicide victims last month in Austin. And Austin had more than twice as many homicides in August as in the same month last year. And the total number of killings in 2022 is back on pace with a death toll in just the first 8 months of 2021.
Last year, 2021, we had 89
homicides.
This year, we're going to have 100.
Oh, yeah, we're going to hit 100. Absolutely.
We're going to have like 12% more homicides.
Oh, yeah. The way this weekend is going right now that you're in. Oh, yeah. It was like Friday at 5:00, and there were shootings up the yang yang. Someone was driving around random shooting people in Austin on Friday.
Oof.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, Austin's previous record for homicides in a year was 59 in 1984, when the homicide rate was 13.2 per 100,000 residents. And while the 89 homicides in 2021 were well above the 59 reported in 1984, the rate was 9.25 per 100,000 residents. And the rate was 3.4 in 2019 and 4.4 in 2020. And the rate from January through August this year was 5.4. So we're going up.
That's significant.
Up. Shootings caused 75% of homicides in 2022. Going up. All because we're not putting our resources in law enforcement. We don't have enough officers per the population. Not enough. We come back from the break. We got some more. This is Michael Cargill, and you are listening to Come and Talk It.
Folks, this is Doug Man Jones. And I get my gun news from Michael Cargill at Come and Talk It.
Hello, my name is Edwin Walker. I'm an independent program attorney with Texas Law Shield. I want to talk to you today about an issue that we see on a daily basis. In fact, you yourself will encounter it on a daily basis, and that is the subject of road rage. I am sure that you have all seen road rage. You may have actually been involved in a road rage incident. Now, if you're a responsible gun owner, I'm going to give you a few words of advice on how to react when you find yourself in one of these unfortunate road rage incidents. While on the roadways, we all observe something that makes us upset. Whether it's poor driving, unsafe driving, or just simply somebody being very discourteous. By all means, you should restrain yourself from engaging that person and telling them how bad their actions were, because this can be perceived as an act of road rage. If you're a lawful gun owner, you have a firearm in your vehicle, you do not want to be viewed as the aggressor in a road rage situation. Now, with regard to a situation where an individual has chosen to rage against you, and you are the actual victim of the road rage, if you and the other individuals are still in their automobiles, do not use your firearm to respond to any of the rager's activities. This is because law enforcement views the fact that you're both still safely in your metal boxes as removing any threat of immediacy that you may be harmed. So please, if you have a gun, somebody is raging against you, forget you have a gun. Don't display it, don't brandish it, don't show it, don't point it, and for God's sake, don't fire it. this could result in a lot of trouble for you. Now let's look at a situation where a road rage incident has escalated. It has escalated to the point where one of the participants has actually gotten out of their vehicle. We recommend that you stay in your vehicle at all times. Do not exit your vehicle, because the person who exits their vehicle is going to be looked at as the aggressor. If the other individual has exited their vehicle and they are not in contact with your vehicle and they do not have a weapon, then do not feel that you can display your weapon in an act of self-defense. People are allowed to just simply stand there and scream at you, scream whatever they want. Until they make a demonstrative effort to try to harm you, there is no immediate threat that would justify displaying or shooting or brandishing your firearm.
Welcome back to Come and Talk It. And now here's Michael Cargill.
All right, so we're back, and the video, what I wanted to cover is this, the ex-boyfriend in Georgia. That's right. Okay, I remember now. It's not coming up for me because I got to log in and do some stuff. All right, but I don't have to do it. So the ex-boyfriend in Georgia. So basically what happens is, and there's a video of this, where this ex-boyfriend goes to the house of his girlfriend and tries to get into the house. Knocks on the door, no one answers. So he rings the doorbell, no one answers. So then this guy decides to force his way into the front door and starts banging on the door, and using his body to try to bust the door down. The father, or a male voice inside the home, fires shots through the door and shoots this guy, kills him. Now, the thing about this is the neighbors. These are the world's dumbest neighbors. Okay, so I hope this gets back to them, because you guys are the worst neighbors on the planet. Okay, so someone gets shot. All you hear, I'm the neighbor, I hear gunshots. I come outside, I see someone breathing, trying to, gas their breath, get their breath, or catch their breath, laying on the ground. They don't even, in enough time, they don't even contact 911. They don't have the sense to call the police immediately. It takes them a while to do this. And then they don't start administering first aid at all. They're like barely looking at the guy like, I think he's still breathing. He's still breathing. Oh, his breath, now it's going faint. He's going faint. As they're just staring at this guy. They are just the world's worst people. Worst human beings at all. I come across someone who looks wounded, and trying to breathe. The first thing that comes to mind is to dial 911, get paramedics, start administering first aid. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Instead, they're just like staring at the guy and just watching him. Okay, well, he's almost not breathing anymore. Okay, hold on, he's still breathing. Okay, now he's not breathing anymore. The worst human beings on the planet. And I think we're playing the video in the background, right? Pretty sure we're playing it in the background. The ex-boyfriend. Oh, did it? Oh, the video got deleted and we didn't screen capture it. Gosh darn it. That's okay. Hopefully I'll try to find it or something like that for a later show or something. All right, so now let's go to our next story. So this is an idiot, another idiot, who was in a store. I can't even tell what type of store this is. You know what type of store this is? You know what the video I'm talking about? It says "Dumb Alpha Sierra Sierra" is the title that we put it as. "Dumb Alpha Sierra Sierra," and I don't know if you can look and see what store it's located in. So it's some type of, it looks like a pizza joint, like maybe a Little Caesars or Pizza Hut or something like that. It looks like a pizza place. It's definitely a fast food place. I'm not sure what type of fast food. So he goes in and he's standing there he has his gun in his pocket. Doesn't look like his gun is in a holster. It's just sitting in his pocket. That's what it looks like to me. And he goes to readjust his junk and by reaching into his pocket, and he accidentally pulls the trigger and fires a shot on the ground. in the fast food place, and then plays it off like nothing happened. And everyone's like, "What was that?" He goes, "I don't know. Sounded like a shot." He tried to deflect on the customer that walked out the door and pass it on as if it was the customer that walked out. He tried to give them that impression. And they're like everyone's looking around. He's like just standing there waiting for his food. He eventually gets his food and walks out the door. Hilarious. That video come up? Nice. Yeah, so hilarious. This is, he's an idiot. First of all, you should always carry your gun in a holster. It's always safer if it's in a holster. Your gun does no good for you by being in your pocket and not secure. Whether you're going to conceal it or having it open, it always should be in a holster because it's safer that way. And so this idiot here, he's lucky he didn't shoot himself in the foot or accidentally shoot someone else. Yeah,
Looks like a Little Caesars or something.
it does. It does. It looks like some kind of pizza place, just judging by the looks of it there. All right, so another idiot there. All right, now our next story. You young punks need to get off the golf course. Boy, let me tell you. Oh, this is a funny story. Because this is like these two old guys, man. They're trying to enjoy themselves out on the golf course. And this is in Odessa, Texas. Stop messing with our senior citizens in Odessa. They're not playing. These guys are tough. They're old school. And you young bucks are going to learn when you mess with these older guys. These guys are 68 and 60 years old. And let me tell you, they beat these young guys who are 23 to a pulp because they were playing around on the golf course and not following through and moving on down to the next to the next point there. So 2 men were arrested earlier this week after investigators said they attacked a man with a club during a round of golf. Fred Platt, who was 68, Brian Brady, who was 60, have both been charged with aggravated assault and with a deadly weapon. And that deadly weapon is, guess what it was?
A gun.
Nope.
A knife.
No.
Car.
No.
Golf cart.
No. Close.
Golf club.
Golf club. Yay. Yes. According to court documents on August 23rd, officers with the Odessa Police Department were called to a golf course in the 7500 block of North Grandview Avenue after a man called 911 said he had been assaulted by 2 men who were still on the course. At the scene, investigators met with a 30-year-old victim who had visible injuries, including a swollen, bloodied lip, a cut to his eyelid, and several bleeding cuts on his arm. The victim stated that 2 men, later identified as Platt and Brady, approached him while he was in his golf cart. He said one of them punched him in the face and then pulled him from the cart. And the suspect then punched him again and put him in a headlock, while the second suspect began hitting him with a golf club. And this is hilarious because these guys that are beating these other guys up are like 60 and 68 years old, and they're beating up 23 and 30-year-olds. This is hilarious to me. You know what? You need to be respectful. You respect our seniors. They're telling you, let's go, stop playing around, move on to the next hole, get on down to the next hole. Stop holding up the line there. Stop playing games. We're out trying to have a good time and you're slowing everybody down there. Or let them play through. Whatever. Step aside. Be respectful. Respect your elders. If not, sometimes some people just need a beating. I think that's what. So I don't think they should be charged. I wish I was on the jury. I would find them not guilty because sometimes you just need to slap some people around every now and then. What do you think?
Do it. It's a good idea.
It's a good
Spare
idea.
the rod, spoil the adult.
That's spare the. Say it again.
Spare the rod, spoil the adult.
Oh, don't make me laugh. You make it worse. You make me laugh. It hurts. You make me laugh. Man, I tell you, this is too funny. This is a funny story, though. I think it's funny. Both men were arrested and taken to the Ector County Law Enforcement Center, where they were later released, each on a $30,000 bond. So, man. Be respectful out there. Stop messing with our seniors. My next story here. Uber driver. You see this one? Uber driver. I guess I need to stop messing with
Uber
you.
driver.
Austin Uber driver arrested for allegedly pulling a gun on a passenger. Yeah. So check this out. It all started out as a typical weekday for a Shakia Scholes. It was Thursday morning, and I ordered an Uber to take me and my children to school, she said. Scholes' car was being borrowed, so she and her kids caught a ride to campus. Then it was time to head back to her home with the same Uber driver. He was a bit frustrated because of the traffic. The GPS was kind of throwing him every which way, and I was telling him directions. We turned around a couple of times, and we ended up here, she said. Here was the parking lot of Callahan's General Store off of 183. According to the arrest affidavit, the driver stopped the car and pointed a gun at her. He swore at her and told her to get out of his car. At first, she said no, but then got out when he told her again. Now, Scholes has a license to carry and had a gun in her purse. She says at that point, she thought it would be a bad idea to pull it out. She got out of her car and called the police. The driver, Frederick Roy Clark, was found and questioned by police, and a gun was on him at the time. And according to the affidavit, Clark claimed Scholes appeared agitated and rushed and was cursing during that entire ride, according to Scholes. Scholes denied that, actually. And the affidavit said that Clark also implies she had to kick people out. He's had to kick people out because saying that he's told unruly passengers, if I have to pull over, you're going to have to do the walk of shame moment because you don't know how to conduct yourself. Now, Clark has been charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and this is more so about Uber at this time, said Scholes. For a situation like that to even have the opportunity to happen is totally unacceptable. According to the Uber policy, Uber prohibits riders and their guests, as well as driver and delivery people, from carrying firearms of any kind while using the app. There is an exception if a firearm is unloaded and locked in a container in the trunk of the vehicle. So just so you know, that's the Uber policy. We come back from the break, we got more to talk about. This is Michael Cargill, and you are listening to Come and Talk It.
This is Coleon Noir, and you're listening to Come and Talk It with Michael Cargill.
He didn't act that way. He never flinched. He went for his pockets. And when he went for his pockets, I thought my heart was going to stop. I mean, Hi, my name's Jerry. The incident we're going to talk about took place in early March of 2017. It started back about 3 years ago. We had a fella in the neighborhood that nobody really knew. We weren't familiar with him, and he was pretty regular about speeding up and down the street. It escalated into more speeding, threats. He chunked some rocks up into the yard and broke my windshield in my truck, and it escalated from that into death threats. And he was constantly chirping about how he was gonna end it and he was gonna kill so-and-so, he was gonna kill me, and it was all chirping. The day of the confrontation, I was leaving the neighborhood and heading to a meeting in downtown Fort Worth. It was a beautiful day, had my windows down, I was in my Suburban. As I was heading out, just about to leave my neighborhood, this guy comes into the neighborhood, sees me coming out, pulls into my lane, causes me to stop, and then he kind of cut at an angle in front of me and jumped out of his truck and ran at the side of my Suburban, saying, "Today's the day you're gonna die, he's gonna end it." He comes over and he's slamming his hands up against the side of my vehicle, my truck. But he's screaming at me, telling me he's gonna kill me, he's gonna end it, this is the day I'm gonna die. He reaches in to try and open up my door. I grabbed my weapon, I put my weapon right at his chest at the window and told him to get back, told him to get the hell back. And he never did. He never moved, he never changed anything. He went for his pockets, shuffling into his pockets, and he pulls out his cell phone. I drove off around and called 911 before I got to the end of my street. Yeah, I've carried a weapon for pretty near 20 years, and I've never had to pull my weapon out. Now, I can tell you that when you do that, it's the emotions are incredible. You feel the flush come through your body because you just pulled a weapon on somebody, you're pointing a gun at somebody, and they don't move. And that's a whole nother, they didn't say, whoa, I'm stop, like anybody that you'd think would do that, but he didn't act that way. He never flinched. He went for his pockets, and when he went for his pockets, I thought my heart was going to stop. I was actually told that if he would have pulled out a gun, he'd have shot me before I could have actually pulled the trigger, and that's pretty awakening. I contacted Texas Law Shield and spoke with them and got a statement that I wrote, and I turned it in the following day. And it was subsequent to that I was told that I was going to be arrested for deadly conduct, and Texas Law Shield stepped up to the plate, and they got in my corner and handled it from there.
Factually, the case was unique because Jerry never got out of his vehicle, but was still forced to pull his weapon and defend himself. And you don't see that often. Usually, a self-defense case, both people are outside the vehicle.
They ended up arresting me. Texas Law Shield got me out in a matter of a very few hours. They called me on a regular basis and stayed in touch with me and kept me up to speed on.
Welcome back to Come and Talk It. And now, here's Michael Cargill.
Man, Zach, you hear about Argentina?
Nope, tell me about it.
All right, so you literally like this story because this is Argentina vice president.
Oh, the woman that was walking down the street, basically.
She was going home. She was approaching her house.
A whole crowd of people, right?
In her neighborhood, yes.
And the guy, somebody puts a gun up to her and tries to pull the trigger.
And it malfunctions.
Yeah.
The Argentina vice president assassination attempt. Where is her security? Did they not have security?
We put that video up and it got taken down, right?
Yeah, we have it on banned. So we do have a video of it. It is on banned.video. You can take a look at it.
Yeah, we posted a video of that on Facebook or Instagram. They took it down pretty quick.
Yeah, they're communists. That's why. But yeah, it is on banned.video from Come and Talk It. So you can go to banned.video and take a look at it. Go to our page on Come and Talk It, and you'll see a copy of that video. I think it's gotten like 50,000 views or some ungodly number, 60,000 views or something. Quite a bit. I actually haven't seen the video. So I was on vacation. I didn't even see the doggone thing. But yeah, she was walking home in her neighborhood and approaching her house on her street, and guy comes up, pulls out a gun, and the gun malfunctions. Lucky for her.
Yeah.
And they called it after that incident, they created a national holiday on the particular Friday, and that Friday afterwards, and suspended, the games, man. It takes a lot to cancel games, man, because they're serious about football over in Argentina. So they canceled all their football games. Called it a holiday. Let's jump over to Mississippi. Mississippi, Mississippi. So Mississippi, Tupelo. And I know everyone's heard about this because I was actually on vacation when this was happening. And as a matter of fact, I had just driven through Mississippi when this happened. The guy flying around Mississippi threatening to crash the airplane into Walmart. You hear about that?
No.
You didn't hear about that?
No.
Oh, my goodness. That was all over the news. It was on mainstream media. This is one of those games we sit at home, with the family, and we say, is he white, black, or other? Because it was on every major network. So he's a white guy.
God's gonna get you for that.
I know. It is what it is. So the pilot flying a small plane over Tupelo, Mississippi, has landed after threatening to crash into Walmart Saturday. And they actually evacuated the Walmart. He was circling around. He started like early in the morning too, like dark 30. I'm gonna crash into Walmart. I'm taking him down. I'm burning it to the ground. They evacuated the Walmart and everything, and tried to talk to this guy. And I was just like, I was waiting for him to shoot him down. I was like, shoot him down. Bring on the jets. Let's see what the Air Force can do. Bring in Coast Guard. Let's light this sucker up. But they never did shoot him down. So eventually he landed and they took him into custody. So I was definitely hoping for a little shot down action going on there. Roads in West Tupelo and near the airport were reopened as the pilot headed northeast of Tupelo, where authorities reportedly convened. The police department reached contact with the pilot while he was in the air, and passengers reported believed to be an employee of the Tupelo airport. So this guy steals an airplane from the airport as an employee, and then flies around threatening to crash into a Walmart. Now you know he was cooter. That's cooter there. I'm crashed into Walmart. That's
why would you do that?
Oh man, straight crazy. That's all I got to say. Okay. All right. So what else we got to talk about?
The maps.
The maps. What is that?
Minor attracted persons.
Oh Lord.
Some teacher.
I have not had enough
El
to drink.
Paso ISD.
I haven't enough to drink yet. I need a little more.
Well, I'll
before we
go
talk
ahead and
about that.
explain it.
Okay, go ahead.
There's a teacher in El Paso ISD at one of the schools, and he's at a high school, and they basically he wrote on the whiteboard something like that: age doesn't matter when it comes to love. And the class said, no, that's what you call pedophiles.
Yeah, duh.
And the teacher said, stop it. We're not going to call them that. We're going to call them MAPs, minor attracted persons. So don't judge people because they want to have sex with 5-year-olds.
No, freak, you're crazy.
Yeah, even the high school students called him out.
Oh, he's a. Almost made me say something. What a. This is in El Paso.
Yeah, so these people with these ideologies are permeating public school system, the mainstream media, sort of the popular culture almost, especially TikTok. You look on there and you'll see all kinds of crazy stuff. There's even an account. It's called Libs of TikTok. Have you heard of that?
No.
You haven't? Oh, it's great.
No, I have not.
So they have Instagram. They have all kinds of social media. Basically, all they do, all Libs of TikTok does is they basically just find these crazy posts that these insane people post, and they just repost them. They don't even put a caption. They just repost what they're saying. Like this teacher. If this teacher recorded this and was proud of it, they would repost that. No caption, no nothing. They just highlight the way that these people think and how insane their way of thinking really is.
Wow. Minor attracted person.
Maps.
Maps.
They're a map. Okay.
Yeah.
You want to call it that because you don't want to say what the actual letters mean.
I'm trying
to find some acronym.
I'm trying to think. I don't know.
Doesn't sound horrible.
Oh, okay. All right. Wow. That's crazy to me. That's just I don't understand.
Insane.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Honestly, some people, I don't know what's in the water.
Mm-hmm. So you know a lot about the laws, Michael.
Okay.
You know when it's in Texas, at least, when it's justified to use deadly force, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Robbery, armed robbery, sexual assault, aggravated sexual assault, rape, kidnapping, murder, right? If you see someone in the commission of those things,
aggravated kidnapping.
It's not just kidnapping; it's aggravated kidnapping.
So yeah.
So sexual assault, aggravated sexual assault,
robbery,
aggravated robbery,
right?
Or armed robbery.
Robbery, aggravated robbery.
Aggravated robbery.
Yeah, theft in the nighttime, criminal mischief at night. Yeah, you can use force, deadly force.
Rape, kidnapping, murder, right?
Okay.
What if you see a pedophile in the act?
Yeah, that's justified. That's rape.
You can shoot them?
Yeah, that's rape.
So even if the minor is consenting, that's statutory rape, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a different rape, or is that still just considered the same as rape?
Hey, call the parents. Let dad handle it. Dad'll handle it.
But could the person handle it who stumbled upon that?
I'll definitely stop it. Absolutely, stop it immediately.
The deadly force?
I don't know. I have to see the situation. See what's
Maybe
going
like
on first.
the side of the gun instead of the barrel?
Yeah, definitely. What we call the pistol whipping. Yeah, I can definitely. Yeah, absolutely.
I never knew
For
it was
sure.
with the actual side of the gun. I thought it was like with the
The pistol
the
whipping?
magwell.
Oh no, you hit him with the side of the gun. Yeah, it's pistol.
I
whipping.
thought it was like with the magwell. You hold the gun like you would hold it, and then hit him with the bottom of it. No, it's with
No,
the side of
he
it.
definitely needs to be hit with the side. And he needs to imprint. It needs to be Glock on his
You have
forehead.
to hold the gun by the other side of it.
Yeah, and it needs to, Glock needs to be imprinted on his forehead. Yes, absolutely.
I always thought you just took the bottom of the magwell and like smashed him with that, like
No.
the handle of a hammer. Right?
No,
Ah.
Yeah. See, you're from Dallas. That's why.
Everything's different in Dallas.
Yeah, go down to Houston. You'll learn. Number of criminals and thugs down there. Hey, you hear
And
about
in Austin too.
And they've moved to Austin.
We're about to set a record.
That's right. That's
Mhm.
right. We're gonna be. That's right. Hear about Canada.
Oh, which thing?
The stabbings.
Oh, the stabbing spree.
Remember,
Was
10
it
people.
15 people.
10 people killed, 15 hurt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna. I want to say this when we come back from the break. This deserves a lot more time. Okay.
Yeah.
Because
They banned guns.
They're right.
They tried to ban. Oh, that was Britain that tried to ban knives. They had the knife receptacle. Basically, they
They
had
do
these
gun
cans.
buyback programs, gun turn-ins. They actually they have a gun ban. You know.
Yeah, and they tried to not even buy back your knives, but they had this basically a trash can where you can dispose of your knife. You don't get any money for it, but you can put your knife in here, and if you do that, then we won't prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law.
Mhm.
Can't even have a kitchen knife.
Yeah. Well, these people here who prove that okay, we don't need a gun to do mass stabbing.
Mhm.
A mass stabbing. Okay. They used an assault knife and committed a mass stabbing.
Didn't you see a guy that had a machete walking around?
No, oh yeah, in Austin. Oh,
Uh-huh.
that's a very common occurrence in Austin.
Huge machete, as long as his arm.
Very common. You see it all the time. It's
A
nothing,
miniature katana.
nothing new here in Austin. You see people with machetes and swords walking down Congress Avenue, going toward the Capitol.
I've
Yes.
seen a homeless guy with two sais.
Oh yes.
You know, those three-pronged.
Very common
stabbing
occurrence in Austin, Texas.
Mhm.
If you're thinking about coming or moving to Austin, just so you know, you will see people with machetes and hatchets walking down the street who are homeless.
Better get your own sword so you can have duels.
That's right. That's right. Mutual duelings in the streets in Austin, Texas. This is Michael Cargill, and you listen to Come and Talk It.
This is Brittany Glaze, and I get my global gun news from Michael Cargill on Come and Talk It.
I'm a U.S. Army veteran with a strong sense of duty and respect for our system of government. After 12 years, I was honorably discharged and decided I would fulfill the American dream of entrepreneurship and open up a gun shop in Austin, Texas. At my shop, I teach people to be law-abiding and how to safely use their firearm. On page 46, going to talk about Penal Code Section 46.02. The day that ban went into effect, I went into my local ATF in Austin and turned over my bump stock because I'm a law-abiding citizen. But I wasn't going down without a legal fight. So that's why I reached out to NCLA.
NCLA is representing Michael Cargill because federal agencies do not have the power to rewrite statutes. Bump stocks are not machine guns. If Congress wants to change the law and ban bump stocks, it certainly can do so. But we can't have the executive branch rewriting a statute and putting people in jail for up to 10 years.
It's a problem because, this government agency has said, you know what, something that is legal is now illegal, and we're going to confiscate it from you, and we're not going to compensate you for it, and you're going to become a criminal.
The goal of our case here is to tell the ATF that they can't get away with this kind of administrative lawmaking. This isn't constitutionally permissible, and this goes against everything that our nation was founded on.
The bump stock ban turned innocent law-abiding citizens into criminals overnight, even though they were compliant with the statute. And that's not right.
This case is not about where you stand on bump stocks. It's about the rule of law. It's about whether an agency can rewrite a statute and turn a law-abiding citizen into a criminal. If the ATF can ban bump stocks, any agency can ban anything.
Welcome back to Come and Talk It. And now here's Michael Cargill.
All right, so let's talk about this Canadian stabbing where 10 people were killed and 15 are hurt. So a manhunt was underway in Canada. This happened like about 7 days ago. It's an old story here. The bulk of the attacks targeted residents of James Smith Cree Nation, an indigenous community of 3,400, with other injuries reported in the neighboring village of Weldon, northeast of Saskatchewan. I can't say that. How you say it?
Saskatchewan?
Saskatoon.
Saskatoon.
Yeah, well, I don't live in Canada. All right, so the attacks in the province have shocked the country. Saskatchewan have shocked the country, and the Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, described them as horrific and heartbreaking. And I'm thinking of those who have lost loved ones and of those who were injured, according to Justin Trudeau. Trudeau said his government had been in direct communication with the James Smith Cree Nation community leadership and was ready to assist in, adding that those responsible for today's inherent attacks must be fully brought to justice. Man, 10 people are killed and 15 are hurt, all by an assault knife. An assault knife.
An assault knife.
An assault knife. An assault knife.
Are they calling it that?
No. But I'm going to say it about 20 times so that way it sticks. Assault knife. They use an assault knife to kill 10 people and injure 15 in Canada.
I ask every class that I teach. I teach the basic firearms class. When we get to the AR, I ask them, I hold it up and I say, this is an AR. Does anyone know what AR stands for?
Assault rifle.
Assault rifle, that's the most common answer. Also, automatic rifle.
Really?
Wow.
I
said, okay, assault rifle, automatic rifle. What about awesome rifle or American rifle?
I like to say American rifle.
Those are just about as correct
as
the first two.
I'm just like, American rifle. Because it's America.
And no, those are not the correct answers at all.
Sad.
It's just a semi-automatic rifle. It looks scary because it has synthetic stock and handguard, right?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Ooh, instead of wood or something like that.
Yeah.
It's black and it's scary. Why is black so much scarier, Michael?
I don't know. Don't know. Because it's like, I think a lot of people need counseling and therapy. And they have some things that bother them, and they need to work through them, and it's generational. I think that's what it boils down to.
It's passed on.
You know what? This weekend the classes were stuck on civil asset forfeiture. For some reason, I had someone bring up the case on several classes. Bring up the case of something happening to them, whether it's a family member or directly to them. They're involved in some type of situation where police were called, and the charges against them were dropped or no charges filed, but their gun was confiscated. And the law
never returned.
And not returned to them. I said, yeah, that's called civil asset forfeiture. Haven't you heard of it?
That's where the police take your stuff,
Right.
and they don't give it back.
I'm like, why are you surprised by this? And people are shocked. They're like, well, I'm the president of so-and-so Republican club and da-da-da-da-da, and my so-and-so, the law enforcement has their firearm and won't return it to them. Yeah, it's called civil asset forfeiture.
There are some police departments that get the majority of their funding from their civil asset forfeitures.
That's right.
They take people's money, and they actually use that as their own funding.
And there's nothing in our Texas law that says that law enforcement have to return a firearm to you. So, yes, they can confiscate your property and not return it to you. Your property and not return it to you.
Property? I know that voice.
Your property and not return it to you.
Never.
So, yeah, and so they're shocked by this. Absolutely, people. This is what's been going on in the country for quite a while. A lot of people have been complaining about this, but now it's hitting, different levels of the community, and all of a sudden it's now an issue. It's always been a problem. That's how it's always been, so I don't know why you're shocked by this. It's called civil asset forfeiture. Google it, look it up. Yes, your charges can be dropped or dismissed, and in Austin, you will not get your gun back. Just so you know.
Why do some people get it back and others do not?
You need to get an attorney and get an attorney involved and try to get the firearm back. But in most cases, you're not going to get it back. And that's just how it is. That's how it is.
Doesn't seem very fair.
It's not fair. So give it up. I had a customer that had a gun in a backpack, went to a park here in Austin, and he forgot the gun in the backpack at the park. And he left, he turned around, went right back. It hadn't been gone 5 minutes, turned around, went back, and it was gone. Well, he contacted law enforcement, and they had the backpack. They recovered it with the gun inside. And so he asked the police officer, he said, well, can I, come get my gun back? Because I forgot it there, and I turned around to go back and get it, and it was gone. And the officer said, yeah, absolutely. Bring your ID with you, and then we will, return the firearm to you. And so the guy called me up. He says, Michael, man, I just want to get your advice on this. I said, sure. I can give you advice. I can't give you legal advice. I can give you my personal advice. He said, well, Michael, I got this this situation happened. He explained it to me. I said, okay. And he said the officer was very nice. And the officer said, hey, just come on down to the police department, bring your ID, and we'll give your gun back to you. And I said to him, they're going to arrest you. He goes, what do you mean, Michael? They're not going to arrest me. Because, this guy was really nice. I said, no, they're going to arrest you. You're going to go to jail. They're going to charge you. He's like, no way. It's like, yeah, trust me. I said, I tell you what, this is what you need to do. I'm not an attorney. I cannot give you legal advice. So what you should do is contact Texas U.S. Law Shield. When you're in class, you took a class of this, right? He says, yes, I took a class. He said, when you're in class, did you get Texas Law Shield in class? He said, yes. I said, give them a call. So he calls them up. And so I said, when you call them, call me back and tell me what they said. So he calls up Texas Law Shield, and then he calls me back. He said, well, Michael, I called them. I said, good. What'd they say? He goes, they said they're going to arrest me. I said, yeah, exactly. They're going to arrest you. So basically what you do, just leave that gun there. It's there, and just go buy your new one. He goes, man, I really like that gun. That gun is gone. Say goodbye to it. They're going to keep it, and you just need to buy your new one.
What would they arrest him for?
He left the gun in the park unaccompanied, and there were minors at the park. So, you can get him a class C where, no one gets a minor didn't touch it, class C. If a minor did touch it, class A.
Misdemeanor?
If it was discharged and someone's injured, be a class A. Sorry about that.
If it was discharged and someone injured?
Discharge or someone's injured, be a class A, up to 1 year in jail.
Unaccompanied gun
yes, 1
near
year
minors is class C?
Class C. The minor gets access to it, class C. So simple.
If they get access to it. If they
that's the nicer version of it. They could go on a fishing expedition and charge them with something else, and go a little harder to the paint. So So basically, he left it there. Nothing ever happened. He just went and eventually bought himself a new one. That's the best thing to do. Just forget about it. They're gonna confiscate it, and it happens in Austin all the time, where I had a young lady give me a call, and she was crying to me. Michael, I should have listened to you when I was in class, and I didn't listen. And you told us to get Texas Law Shield, but I didn't do it. And so
Why would you do that?
this particular situation happened, and I had to pull my gun out to tell a person to stop what they were doing. And so they didn't charge me with anything. No charges were filed, but they confiscated my firearm. They refused to give it back to me, Michael. How do I get my gun back? I said, that gun's gone, ma'am. Say goodbye to it. And she goes, I wish I should have gotten Texas Law Shield when you told me to. Yeah, you should have, but it's gone now. And then I had someone else call me. Hey, I inherited all these firearms. This gun. It was given to me down by another family member, and it was actually, they bought it from a private sale, and now, I have them. And I said, okay. And so for some reason, something happened, and police now have the guns. In order for me to get those guns back, the police want a bill of sale or 4473 to get the guns back. And I said, because you got them as a gift, you can't produce a bill of sale or 4473. They said no. I said, well, say goodbye to your guns. It's called civil asset forfeiture. That's right. Happens all the time in this country. Happens all the time in Austin. All the time. Just so you know. You know what? As Frederick Douglass once said, a man's rights rest in 3 boxes: the ballot box, the jury box, and the cartridge box. This week, we're going to exercise our rights, and we're going to go to New Orleans, and we're going to plead our case before the Fifth Circuit in New Orleans, before the 17-judge panel, and we're going to fight for all Americans in the United States for our right to own AR pistols, triggers, own whatever item that we purchase, whether it's whatever it is that we purchase that was legal, and the federal agency says it's illegal, saying that you cannot do that because only Congress creates law, not a federal agency. As always, more guns equals less crime. You go out there and you buy yourself a gun. You've been listening to Come and Talk It with Michael Cargill.